Hello, friends. Right next door to my front door, or right next to my front door, I have a sign that says, I wonder what good will come to me today. And I had it there for many, many years. And, at a certain point, it's kind of, you don't notice it, but I still think it has some kind of an impact. But recently, I really started noticing it again because I think it fits in really well with what I've been talking about this identity. You can kind of take this into your own experience and maybe think about the first thing. What are the first thoughts that you have when you wake up in the morning? What meets you? What thoughts? What beliefs? What memories? What is the first thing you engage in? And then you start your day, but you start it from that frequency. And that frequency is usually some of these old patterns, um, the past, right? It's always the past. Even if we think about the future, most of the time it is filtered through the past with a really limited, constricted belief around it. So, yeah, we move into the future, but we're bringing the past with us. And it's almost like a layer of paint we just pour over ourselves with the past energies. And then everything looks red or blue or yellow or whatever color paint from the past is your frequency, is your I am somebody who sees world through a lens with blue paint on it, and it's pretty dark and I can't see clearly, or whatever color. But the color that we bring with us is usually a very limited one. Not for everyone. Luckily, there are people who can, you know, wake up with a beautiful clarity of allowing the light to come through. And then that is what we carry with us into the day. So recently, I heard a friend of mine say, um, before she went to work, she would say, "Oh, I hope it's going to be an easy day today." And that sentence in itself is like bracing for what might come, right? You don't say, "I hope this and this will happen," if you don't have some kind of an expectation that something bad will happen. Otherwise, you just walk into the world like, I am somebody who is experiencing ease. And of course, as I always remind us all of, is that it has to be felt really in the core. If you just walk out saying, like, oh, I'm somebody who, but you're not feeling it, in the same way that your past, which is coloring, so you may say, yeah, I'm somebody who is experiencing ease in my life, but you're feeling it through that past, that paint. So it's still coloring it, and that's why it's not going to happen. It has to come from the purity and the power of our I am presence. And that is a felt sense experience. It has to be felt in the body because the other one, the past, is 100% experienced as a felt sense sensation, a felt sense experience. So if we don't replace that felt sense experience with the felt sense experience that we are longing for, that we want, everything is still going to be funneled through the past. And that's why it's so important that we practice, practice, practice. I'm practicing it like crazy right now because it's such a deep energy in me that's like, it's almost like it wants to come out in its fullness, in its purity. And I'm going with that. It's not up here, although many times it starts up there with a practice. Again, nothing is wrong with any of that, but we have to get down here where this old familiar identity that is not good enough, that can't do it, that's too this, too that, not enough that and that, that is a really strongly felt sense experience, and it's not going to go away on its own. We have to see it for what it is. And as I have often shared, it's like the energies are so strong right now. It's like that the divine's purity, let's say, or, a higher vibration, a higher frequency is coming in. So it will push that old stuff, that past, up to the surface so we can move from being somebody who is constricted, limited, contracted, unhappy. We can move our felt sense into who and what we really are. And we have the help now from those higher frequencies, which is much closer to who we are than this nonsense that we have been buying into. And I don't say that as a criticism. I just say it is nonsense when you get out of it. It's like, how did I ever believe that? So we need to make this shift, this leap, which I talked about. I think it was yesterday. You can click on that link here, and that has to become our new identity, where we feel it, and then we will wake up in the morning or walk out of our home and go, oh, I wonder what good will happen to me today. And you feel it. It's like there's an excitement, there's uh, a good expectation. It's like, oh, I wonder what good comes to me today. Or, whatever kind of magic or expansion or wonderful experiences you're looking for. You can just remind yourself before you go out the door. You can put it, on your steering wheel in the car, whatever helps you to remember that, to remember to like shift that energy. And that's the same in the morning when you wake up. Do you wake up like, oh my God, what's terrible? Oh, there's all these problems I need to solve, and I can't do it myself. And oh my God, dread, dread. So this is what we need to start catching. Like what I just described, that would be somebody who has a felt sense identity that says, I am somebody who's overwhelmed, who can't do it on my own, is afraid of all the challenges I have to meet, right? That is a felt sense. So just because we go to sleep at night, that doesn't mean that this layer, this blue paint is going to disappear, because soon as we wake up in this dimension, which is where all this is happening, in this dualistic dimension, you wake up into the and through the blue paint. It says, oh, that is what we need to start catching. And that's what I really want to see if I can bring that through today to all of us, to find a way to check in with ourselves many times a day, especially first thing in the morning, so that before you put your leg out of your bed, get up, you already know what was trying to pull you in, what blue paint was trying to cover you, and is that really what you want? So you see it, and then you can remind yourself, oh, I wonder who I am believing I am right now. And then you pause, and then you put that label on it. Say it out loud. Make it conscious, uncover it. And you go, oh, I'm believing I'm somebody who has all these problems, whatever they are. And then it's not unconscious anymore. Then you are able to see what is normally running your life unconsciously. And you go, oh, that's what Pernilla said yesterday. If this is the first time you're hearing it or need to be reminded of it, oh, and then you can see that that cover, that identity is what is going to radiate, that your I am presence has to radiate through in everything you do, what you say, how you feel, how you act, how you dress, how you hold your body posture. That, and then you can start seeing, oh, that's why this always happens to me. Now it's beginning to make sense. This may not happen to you right away. You may need a little time just to kind of catch yourself, and then even get out of it. The blue paint may be so dry, and you kind of really have to work on it to get it off. But that's okay. You have to start somewhere. And then as you see that, it's like, oh, that's what it is. And then you can really ask yourself and choose, is that the I am presence? Is that this is who I am identity I want to move into my life with today? And I hope you say no, because I don't think anybody wants it once it's conscious. But we need to do that work because it's going to be there every morning until we ground more in ourselves and find out, well, what do I want? Well, I want to be somebody who meets life with ease, who is wondering, oh, I wonder what good is going to come to me today. That's who I want to be. And then you need to move from that's who I want to be. That's a good segue, right? And there might be some more things that you can watch on some of my other videos, for instance, about safety. It may not feel safe yet. So, in this segue in between the old and the new, that's where we need to do the work to keep coming out of this. And it depends on what works for you. I have my little special things. For instance, I remind myself, oh, that's the old, but there's so many more options in a universe that is infinite and unlimited and that is already here. So it's almost like I can consciously step into a new expression, and that helps me let go of the old. So there's many ways. So now you go from, oh, I want to be this, and then you ask yourself, well, what would that feel like to be that? And then you take some time, like, oh, what a relief to not have to carry that with me. Right there, you can say, I am somebody who feels extremely relieved to leave my past behind. That's one way. That's where we will find new ways to move from the old to the new. But we have to catch these ones. And I'm just giving you two little examples, right? You wake up immediately in some kind of brace for impact, right? Brace for, ooh, what's going to happen? Or I hope today is going to be better. But if you hope, there is something underneath that is not happy, that is believing something else. So we need to bring that up to the surface and find out what it is, make it conscious, find out if that's what you want, and then start really listening to what it is that you want, because that is your new identity that is already here. You don't need to create it. The reason that you feel that you want it, that you long for it, is simply because it is already here. And now you have an opportunity to spend more time consciously in feeling that new identity. And a very common feeling in the beginning is a sense of relief. And then the other example I gave would be when you go out the door, just pause. Remind yourself who you are. Consciously choose not to bring the past into your life that day, into the day. And you might say, well, I'm somebody who's expecting good things to come to me today, or who is receiving or being received by life with ease and grace. And then you go like, I wonder, how would that feel? If I'm somebody who is met by life with ease and grace, how would I feel? This is the part that where the shift starts to happen. This is where we start opening up to being and becoming that. So it's a very important piece that we feel it in a sense where we can say, oh, I am, and whatever that is. These are the steps that I've talked a lot about the last several videos. And it's really about how to make that transition, becoming aware of who you are still identified with, really paying attention. This is the deep work where we need to go. It's like, when that and that and that happens, I see that I'm somebody who is expecting that, or believe that that's something to do with me. But it only has to do with our past that we are seeing life through. And that's why it doesn't look the way we want it, because we are seeing it through a glass darkly, Bible quote. You're seeing it through a lens that's been, or frame that's been put in front of the projector of light. It's seeing it through a programming of limitation. It's not who we are. So these are the very beginning stages where also you learn to not make yourself wrong when these things still happen, but you can reframe it into what is actually true. It's like, oh, I'm still seeing it through that lens that says, oh, it's never going to work for me, right? Oh, okay. So now I want to start letting that go and moving into a new way of being. Now, the letting go of it all, a lot of the work. That's where a lot of the work comes in. So we do have to do some work, never to change this, only to soften it so we can slip out of it and start moving into a new future, into the new earth, where none of this stuff exists. I hope that is helping you to see that there actually is a way out of the old. But it takes willingness, it takes practice, it takes a good attitude, a willingness to really make that shift. Please give me a thumbs up or share it with others. Please comment. Let me know what you wake up in. What is that first belief that meets you the moment you open your eyes or right before? What do you wake up in? Get to know that. Get to know that and know that it's just the past, the whole accumulated past that's now looks like blue paint or some seriously thick frames or slides in the projector, and it is not who you are. It's not uncommon to need help with this. So please reach out for a self-discovery session. You'll find it in the description below how to access me. Or just go to work. Just do it. Just do it if you can. I wish you a wonderful day.